Welcome back, friends. I'm Saliga, Zio Saliga. Over the last few weeks, we've been solving an unusual mystery together. Let's check out what the evidence says so far. It all started with a message God gave to the prophet Isaiah 2,700 years ago. God promised darkness would turn to light, and it did. God sent Jesus, the light of the world, and announced it to shepherds who saw the dark night sky filled with bright angels. That's not all. God also promised joy. Joy came to Zechariah and Elizabeth, the first ones to hear the Savior was coming into the world. And when their son John grew up, he was the one who announced the joyful news that Jesus, the Savior, had come. Last time, we learned about the promise of freedom. God sent angels to Joseph and Mary to tell them that Mary would have a special baby named Jesus. Jesus means God saves because Jesus came to free people from sin. Sin is like a heavy weight on us. It keeps us from doing what's right and from being close to God like we were made to. But Jesus is the Savior we all need. Aren't God's promises amazing? Everything He said to Isaiah came true, and not just in the Christmas story. As we follow Jesus, Jesus brings light, joy, and freedom into our lives too. And we're going to see the full picture of God's promise completed when His kingdom comes one day. You see, the story isn't over. We're in the middle of it right now. Let's remember, we're not done yet. We've got one more piece of Isaiah's message, and I've got a feeling it's going to be the best one yet. Let's have a listen.
Every fighting man's boot that he wore in battle will be burned up.
What? Is this thing broken? Let's try this again.
Every fighting man's boot that he wore in battle will be burned up.
This makes no sense at all. What is God promising here? I don't remember any boots being burned in the Christmas story, but maybe there's someone who knows something about burning boots in our list of witnesses. Oh, this could work. Come on in.
Sir, yes, sir.
At ease, soldier. All right, so you know a lot about war, right?
I do. No one knows more about war than the Romans. We've perfected it.
And do you ever burn your boots?
That would be ridiculous. You can't go running around barefoot in the field of battle.
But can you think of any reason why you would burn your boots?
Ha! The only reason I would burn my boots is if I didn't need them anymore. But that's not going to be anytime soon.
Why not?
We'd have to be done fighting. Can you imagine? No more war? Ha!
That does sound like a really great idea.
Sure, it sounds nice, but take it from me. I've traveled all over the Roman Empire. Little kingdoms are always arguing with each other, fighting each other. Maybe one day, when the Roman Empire has conquered the entire world, then maybe war really will end, and we'll have one king and one kingdom.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but Rome is just a dot on the map, and it's full of ancient ruins.
What?
But thank you for your time.
How dare you?
You can head on this way. Dismiss.
But Rome is the greatest kingdom in the world!
Well, that was a flop. The promise definitely isn't about Rome taking over the world. But that fellow did say something interesting. The end of war. If everyone just had one king and lived in one kingdom, there wouldn't be any more fighting. That does remind me of something from the Christmas story. Aha! Here it is. When Jesus was born, something special appeared in the night sky. Some wise men in faraway lands who studied the star saw it and knew it meant a special king had been born. They weren't Jewish, and they weren't part of God's people, the Israelites. But they traveled for years to see Jesus. When they found him, Jesus was living in a small house, not a palace. Joseph was a carpenter, not an emperor, and Mary wasn't a queen. But the wise men recognized Jesus for who he was, and they brought him gifts, just like you would give a king. Jesus didn't just come for one group of people, he came for the whole world. The wise men show us that. And I bet one day in the future, when Jesus comes back, he will be king of the whole world. And we won't need to have any more war or fighting. We won't need weapons or fighting boots. And all of us, from all over, with all of our differences, will live together in one wonderful kingdom. Is that it? Am I right? Is that how the promise comes true? Where is that guy? He's usually so punctual. Hello? Scientist friend from the future? Ah, there we go.
Oh, hello, friend. I hope you are well. I'm recording this message to send to you. By the time you receive it, I will hopefully have succeeded in jumping further into the future than ever before. It's been a pleasure working on this case with you. You'll find 2 clues in the box. All right, here we go. Preparing for launch in 3, 2, 1. It's beautiful.
Wait, come back. What's beautiful? I wonder how far into the future he went. Well, wherever you are, or whenever you are, good luck, my futuristic friend. Now, let's take a look at these clues he sent us. It's a scrambled message. Let's try rearranging the combinations. That's it. Isaiah 2, 3-5. Let's look that up. Oh, this is another message from God about what his kingdom will be like one day. Let's see if we were right. People from many nations will go there. They will say, "Come, let us go up to the Lord's mountain. He will teach us how we should live. Then we will live the way he wants us to. Nations will not go to war against one another. They won't even train to fight anymore." Hey, we did solve it. This is saying that in the future, people from all over will come together and there will be no more war. Let's read the other one. Isaiah 9, 6-7. Hey, this is about Jesus. It says he's the prince who brings peace. The peace he brings will never end. He will make the kingdom strong and secure. His rule will be based on what is fair and right. It will last forever. The Lord's great love will make sure that happens. He rules over all. Amazing! This is what God promised. War will end because Jesus brings peace. One day Jesus will be king. He's going to bring peace to the whole world, and his kingdom is going to last forever. Can you imagine? How beautiful. That almost reminds me of, you don't think our scientist friend jumped to, nah, impossible, right?
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, this has been one cold case I'll never forget. That may have been our last message from God to Isaiah, but remember, the story isn't over yet. We're in the middle of it right now. And because of God's promises, we know it ends with life, joy, freedom, and peace. That's the good news of Christmas. It was true back then, it's true for us today, and it'll be true one day in God's kingdom. I'm Saliga. Zio Saliga. I'll see you there.